There we go. So I think the biggest thing that's so recurring is I seem to have a level of anger and a depth of anger that's certainly a lot more than I ever thought I would have, and I don't know, seems unfathomable sometimes to me, certainly most of the time actually, but it's probably not, it's probably does,
excuse me,
probably does have an ending, but so much rage and anger, and where I live is so ridiculous. People are screaming all the time, a lot of the time certainly, just want to scream and not stop screaming.
Does it surprise you about how much anger is?
Yeah,
you feeling
very
now?
surprised.
Is it different than the past, or do you not remember?
I think it's a combination of something I wasn't aware of, something I hadn't tapped into, both, and the third element is my life's different now. Living in a group home, we kind of thought it would be good. Because remember, I lived at David's for 16 years, and I said, well, getting too old to live by myself, starting to leave the stove on, might be better to be around other people.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe it is still better to be around other people, but certainly not this group of people.
That makes sense. It still makes sense not to live by yourself because of the same reasons.
Yeah, okay.
And it makes sense that this is probably not the group of people for you to be with.
Yeah. So I met with a Sala attorney a month ago.
What's Sala?
It's Senior Adult Legal Aid.
Okay.
Her name is Beatrice Lopez. In some ways she's been helpful. Some of the leads she gave me turned out to be false, but...
Okay, but wait a minute. Leads for what?
Well, let's see. We talked about a lot of subjects. I'm trying to consider whether I'm going to file an action against Caltrain.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long story that you may or may not know.
I do remember that.
So I still have another 3 weeks or so to do that if I'm going to do it.
This has to do with the...
Just still is disability
the
rights.
Stuff that you're carrying around as a carrier?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So...
What else did you meet with her about?
The house.
Okay.
Both, the drug use at the house, violence at the house. She suggested that I get in touch with Silicon Valley Independent Living.
Mm-hmm.
She said if you go to their orientation, you can get a copy of a list of housing opportunities that may or may not be available to others.
That's a good...
Yeah. Turns out that Silicon Valley is going to be on the show on Friday.
Independent Living? Oh, wow.
So I asked Liz. Liz organized it. So I said, can you introduce me to this lady?
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah. She said yes.
So you coming up Friday?
I'll be here Friday, but it's going to be a busy day because we're now taping 3 shows.
That's okay. I want to get back to that. So you are going to be able to meet the person?
On Friday. So yeah, just a lot of stuff. The house is just, my roommate, I've been calling non-emergency police number. I've been making out reports with Adult Protective Services. So far I've made 3 reports with them. It turns out that they don't really do anything about it. People say they do, and people that think they know what APS does say, oh yeah, they call the police. Never had a call from police because they called them. But I call the non-emergency number on my own. Turns out what non-emergency does, you call them up, what?
They just take the report?
No, even better than that.
What?
They just take the conversation with you.
Oh.
And if someday they need it, they'll pull it off the tape. So they don't, all she does is like she's an answer lady, she just listens, listens to you tell your story and says thank you and goodbye. That's what they do.
Have you asked about what they do for follow-up?
I asked a bunch of questions. I didn't tape record my side of the conversation, but hoping to do that more in the future because it's hard to prove some of this stuff.
I think you have to tell them you're tape recording, though.
Well, no, if I'm drinking it only myself?
I don't know.
They can't. They're not.
I don't
just
know.
me
I
on
would
my
maybe,
side. Yeah.
I would maybe just tell them anyway.
The people at the house are very aware that I'm the one calling the police. Dave said to me the other day, he says, well, I'm going to go out and do what you called the police on us for. And walked out the room. He's obvious he's doing meth. His dad came by one day. One of the kids in the house told his father in front of us that the day before he had driven Gabe to get 3 hits of meth.
Mm-hmm.
And the father said, well, I said, you told him that? And the father said, well, no, Gabe has self-reported to health officials before that he is doing meth. I'm afraid he's going to start dealing, but I don't know that he will. His dealer comes to the window at 1 a.m, goes, Gabe, get out here. Come here, man, I got to talk to you. And not every single day, but frequently. So the level of ludicrousness is very high. And I sometimes feel like I'm in danger. Ms. Lopez said to tell your doctor that you feel unsafe. And maybe the doctor would contact the police on your behalf. So I'm saying the same to you. I feel unsafe. If you want to contact the police, great. I told Dr. Poon the same thing yesterday. I don't think she's going to actually contact the police, but I'm surprised at how many of these things that people think actually work in society don't work. Don't do anything. And it seems like the more frustrated you get, it just makes people deaf to your situation. You have to make it interesting or chic, or you have to hold a party or serve wine while you're telling them that your life's in danger. So yeah, it's very sad.
So tell me why you think you're in danger.
Because, for example, in our 2 houses of the 4, in the last 3 months, 3 people have pulled knives on other people, and none of those people have been asked to leave.
And
are all still there.
Yeah, well, that is really.
That's pulling a knife on somebody. That's pretty close to violence.
Right.
I would say.
Do you know? I'm gonna pull this apart.
Yeah, it's fine. Good.
Do you know under what circumstances those things happened?
One of them was a roommate dispute, 2 roommates. And one of them was a guy pulling a knife on an older lady. Why, I don't know, but they live in the same house.
Okay.
Not in the same room, but there is rooms where it's man-woman. Don't know the other one, what happened on the other one specifically.
When it's man-woman, does that mean they're having a relationship?
No, they live in the same room. Nobody knows what they're doing in their room.
So that's not a problem. Okay.
Well, no, it's a problem.
No, but I'm saying that usually
there aren't even men or
sex.
women in the same house. In this situation, there are men and women in the same rooms.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's usual.
So
that's
it's
pretty
very
unusual.
different. Yeah,
right. That's pretty unusual unless the couple has a relationship.
No, it's very different. Very different. I mean, and nobody. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
So was anybody actually hurt, or were they just threats?
Nobody was hurt, as far as I know.
Okay.
In those situations, so yeah.
And those you think were? I know you don't know this for sure, but you think that they possibly were about arguments between the 2 people.
Could be.
Or
could be.
Whatever.
You don't know.
Miscommunications or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you hear what we're sitting here talking about, people pulling knives on each other in a very calm, rational manner, and could it be that it was just accidental?
Well, I'd say it's pretty unlikely.
What if it happened at Temple? What would you say?
No, I'm saying anyone pulling a knife on somebody, it's very unlikely. It's not accidental, but I'm trying to get to the idea of the likelihood of someone. I'm not saying this has nothing to do. This does not I'm not connecting the fact that you should not be concerned, okay? I'm just trying to help you understand that as long as you're there right now, it may not be as likely for someone to pull a knife on you as would be these instances that knives were pulled.
And why is that, I pray tell?
Because you don't have those kinds of relationships with those people.
Could be. I'm going to stop and start this a few times. It makes it easier to manage the video.
Did you stop? Did you start it while we were talking?
I started a long time ago.
Good.
I'm going to
Okay.
stop and start again
Okay.
because the smaller fragments